Hello, my galactic soul family. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. So today I want to talk about the black sheep. Are you the black sheep of your family? Well, you're not alone because I'm also the black sheep of my family. And that's what we're going to talk about. When the gods choose, they chose the lost. They chose the desperate. They chose the forsaken, the forgotten, the nameless. It's only those who know the true path, the path to the beyond. Only they will be able to see the real future, the real horizon. I love that because as I was typing the content to this video, I heard that in one of the movies that was playing in the background. And I was like, what? I had to rewind it and listen to it like 3 more times. And I'm like, is that like a message? It just seems so fitting for, what I was, you know, creating. And I was like, oh, I gotta put that in my video. I gotta put that in my video. I gotta share that because there was like a message within that message that really, 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 really touched my soul. And I was like, you know what? Being the black sheep is not by choice. Being the black sheep is being chosen by the gods. You are the chosen one. And you should embrace this black sheep feeling, this black sheep archetype. You are the fucking chosen one. Now, a psychologist might define a black sheep as a member of a rigid blah, 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 blah. Here we go. It's too early in the video to get tongue twisted. A rigidly triangulated family who holds the rest of the family tightly together by being identified and assigned the role as the bad, problematic, deviant, deviant one who causes all the family's problems. Now, of course, that's all perspective. My perspective of the black sheep is the family healer, the chosen one. Um, I feel that the black sheep, they do what others in the family wish or fantasize about doing. They don't have the balls, the gall to do what you do as the black sheep. To me, the black sheep, they are the free spirits, the risk takers, the rebels, the gambler. What the black sheep heals in themselves, they heal in their family line. They are the risk takers that are doing what their soul calls them to do, and they listen. In return, this is healing for the black sheep, and it's healing the family. The black sheep is the catalyst in the family. Heal yourself and you heal the bloodline. Now, from a scientific perspective, the black sheep, from a family systems theory perspective, a theory introduced by a gentleman or a doctor medical doctor by the name of Murray Bowen. He was a medical doctor in the mid 20th century. The family is, and this is what he says, the family is an emotional unit and a system in which a proverbial black sheep might be otherwise known as the identified patient. So if you go and you seek help for being the black sheep, but you wouldn't go to a doctor and say, hey, I'm the black sheep, I need mental help. That's not how it would go down. You would definitely you would want to seek therapy for something like depression, because being the black sheep in a family that doesn't accept you and blames you for everything really does a lot of mental damage to you. So that mental damage, like depression and anxiety and stuff like that, would most likely be the cause for you to seek out some sort of therapist or mental health doctor. Okay? And these doctors would identify you as the identified patient, not the black sheep. Okay? That's how they would identify you, as the identified patient with your black sheep problems. Now, the identified patient is part of a family's collective, unconscious, psychological projection process where they essentially defer and outsource the pain, the tension, and anxiety felt within the dysfunctional family system onto one person, who then psychologically and sometimes physically holds the emotional energy of the family, manifesting it in symptoms and behaviors that the other members of the group can point to and say, there's the problem. It's Gabbie. It's Gabe. She's the fucking problem. Not us. It's her. Her. They point the fingers. They point the fingers at you. You're the problem. It's you. They're projecting. In this way, the quote unquote identified patient, which is the black sheep, is the so-called family's scapegoat, the proverbial black sheep, serving as a protective function for the family's larger dysfunctional patterning. And I am no stranger to this, okay, because I have a family that is very dysfunctional, okay. And I've shared little bits and pieces of my life in a lot of my videos, because that's how, I do my videos. I'm very authentic, and I give very real life examples and scenarios and stuff like that using my life. So it's not a big secret that, I come from a very dysfunctional family. I've expressed that in a lot of my videos. And, having a very challenging life and having a dysfunctional family, in my perspective, a very dysfunctional family, has made me the wonderful person that I am today. So the shadow side of living out this black sheep archetype can often mean coping in ways that are maladaptive to healthy, functional, thriving lives that we ultimately want to live. For example, some coping mechanisms may manifest as, perhaps because you felt so rejected by your family. Okay, so we're going to talk about how they will manifest. I'm going to tell you now. Perhaps because you felt so rejected by your family of origin, you walled off your heart and developed ways of keeping other people at arm's length. So you put a wall up. You put a block up in your heart space. That's what I mean when I say you walled off your heart. You put a wall up, and you developed ways of keeping other people friends, other family members, people at work, just people in general, other people at an arm's length. So you'll never have to feel that rejection again. So you don't get close to people. You don't trust anybody. You're very like, I don't know about that person. I don't know if I can trust you. Okay, you're iffy because you don't want to feel pain. You already know what that pain feels like. You don't want to feel more pain. But now you are struggling to form a healthy, close, romantic relationship despite truly longing for this. It's really hard to get into a romantic relationship because you don't know if you can trust this person. You don't know. If you can't trust your own family, how can you trust a complete stranger that you're getting to know to fall in love with this person, to live with this person, to share your life with this person? Because if you came out of your mother's, woohoo, and you grew in her tum tum for like 9 months, and you grew up in this family, and you had siblings and parents and grandparents and cousins, and these are people that were supposed to love you, nurture you, and help you grow, and these are the same people that harm you mentally. Sometimes it's even physically. They judge you. They don't accept you. They're always talking about you. You can't trust them because they keep breaking your heart. They keep hurting you mentally. Mental pain is, in my opinion, worse than physical pain. Because, you know, people that inflict physical pain, you can see those, sometimes bruisings and cuts and stuff like that, but they eventually fade away. Mental abuse, that don't fade away. Mental abuse absorbs. Now, again, that's just my opinion. Neither one is acceptable, okay? So it's really hard to have a close romantic relationship, even if you really, really want it and it's something you've always wanted. Maybe you're a hopeless romantic and it's something you dream about. You long for this. But when the opportunity comes to you, you don't know how to take it because you keep them at an arm's length. You have no trust. Or perhaps you learn to take comfort in food. Overeating. Overeating is your love. Or binging and purging to feel nourishment and control that you didn't otherwise feel from your family. And now your physical body, not to mention your health, is suffering because of it, because you're not taking care of yourself and you start to get fluffy in all the wrong places. That fluff is that's a physical representation of the pain you are carrying around with you. Maybe you developed a deep sense of rage and resentment that you were treated so unfairly, so unkindly. And this has pervaded your life and keeps you in a state of chronic negativity and feeling like the victimhood. Perhaps because your trust was broken early on by people who were supposed to accept and support you, you developed a hyper inflated sense of independence versus learning how to be interdependent with others. And you're experiencing challenges with your coworkers or your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, your other half, or your children or your neighbors because of this. Conversely, maybe because of an absence of functional, healthy parenting early on, you developed on over dependency on others to compensate on what you originally didn't receive. And so now you struggle to be appropriately self-reliant and put too much pressure on others, on other relationships in your life to unrealistically fulfill all your needs. So you put too much pressure on your husband or your wife or your children or your friends or your coworkers. And you know what happens when you do that, right? When you put too much pressure on somebody, friction happens, bumping heads happens, ego happens, unhappiness happens, a lot of shit happens, more mental abuse happens. Maybe you feel disconnected and isolated at all levels from others and from yourself. And this sense of loneliness is manifesting for you as a deep sense of sadness and depression, anxiety, fear. This, my friends, is called shadow work. Well, it's not called shadow work, but it's something that you're going to call shadow work because it's something you're going to need to do. You're going to need to do some inner work. You're going to need to do shadow work. These things need to get integrated. These struggles and coping mechanisms are also triggers to help you grow and become a better version of you. Okay, some of these things in life were put into place for many different reasons. Okay, a lot of your childhood, for a lot of you that grew up had a childhood that was really fucked up. Maybe your parents were drug addicts and alcoholics. Maybe your parents beat each other. Maybe they beat you. Maybe they weren't home. Maybe you raised your siblings. Maybe you were, I was going to say raped. I don't know why I was going to say that, but that just came out. I don't know if somebody needed to hear that or not. That's totally not in my content. But all of these things that happened to you in your life were put into place for a reason. It's part of your soul contract. And yes, being raped is also a part of your soul contract. Okay? For whatever reason, there is a learning curve in that. I know that sounds really fucked up, okay? I'm just going to put it out there. I was molested by my mother's boyfriend. So there, if that makes you feel any better, I'm here, okay? I'm real. Shit has happened to me. So, I totally wasn't going to share that. That's really not in my content here, but I heard it. It was like spirit yelled it out and I had to say it. Somebody needed to hear it and I needed to share that it has happened to me. You are not alone, okay? Maybe you are the black sheep because that happened to you, because your parents were divorced and your mom's cocksucker of a boyfriend fucking touches you. Now that made you this bitter person because you're pissed, you know, and you're overreacting. You're not overreacting, but you're reacting in a way that they feel that you're overreacting. Maybe they don't even know, and you're reacting because you don't know how to tell them, or you're afraid to tell them, or you're ashamed to tell them. Shit, I didn't even tell my parents until I was 20. It was just before I met my husband. I was 27 years old. My father cried, and my mother was shocked. Okay? But that's not why I was the black sheep. There's other reasons why I was the black sheep. But I mean, these things can happen to you. So I forgot where I left off here. So, you know, whatever happens to you, you're going to find ways to cope. Oh, triggers. Okay, so yeah. So things that happen in your life, the triggers. Um, and that's when I brought up the rape. So things like that could also be triggers put into place in your life per your soul contract to help you grow to become, you know, the person that you need to become, or to help wake you up because you really needed that wake up call to wake your soul up from this amnesia stage. And I talk about stuff like that in my awakening videos, but just know that a lot of the stuff that happens to you in your childhood is it's all done for certain reasons, and some of them may be triggers to help you wake up to who you truly are. But these mechanisms are also triggers to help you to grow and become a better version of you. Most black sheep, in my opinion, are intuitive empaths and healers by birth. Okay? And they go through all these shitty situations because it's training, because they're healers. They're emotional healers. And they're going to use their emotional um, experiences to help you through yours. I hope that makes sense to you guys. But yeah, in my opinion, they are intuitive empaths and healers by birth. But as with everything in life, along with a shadow side comes a light side, which means there is actually a tremendous amount of gifts and opportunity and power that can come with living out the black sheep archetype. Like I said in my last video, these are blessings in disguise. Even if they're like the most fucked up challenges and situations and events that you go through, and you're like, how in the fuck can this be a blessing? You might not even realize it's a blessing until, you know, like later on, way later on in your adulthood. And you look back and you're like, whoa, that literally triggered me to be who I am today, or put me on the path to be who I am today. So when I say these are blessings in disguise, it doesn't mean that you're going to receive and understand that blessing right away. It could take years. Spiritually, the benefits of being the black sheep is physical freedom. When you feel you are rejected by your family, there may be more freedom for you. And that's a good thing. Because I look at myself and then I look at my siblings. For me, I freed myself. And they stayed in the same city and they never moved. They have the same friends, the same little circle, the same little bubble, the same box. They're simple people, simple-minded. They're not they're not aware. They're not open-minded. They're not down to earth. They're not grounded. And it's because they're not free. They're caged. They're caged in this little bubble and they're happy with it. And I look at them and I'm so grateful that I freed myself. So that makes me feel good. That's freedom. That's freedom for me. It's freedom for you. If you feel like you're the black sheep, there may be a whole lot more freedom for you. Look at the bigger picture. If you're the black sheep, you may be unconsciously setting yourself free. Or maybe it triggered you to want to set yourself free. You can travel, you can move away, you can go exploring to find your true home, your true self, you know, the place you want to set down roots without feeling obligated to stay within the immediate, radius of your family, your immediate family. You don't have to live, within 10, 20, 30, 40 miles within your family driving distance. You have a greater opportunity to craft and make the life you want, the one that you dreamt of, not just the one that you're supposed to have, or the one they want you to have, which I guess is what you're supposed to have. You can choose how you want to live, who you want to love, what you want to love, where you want to work, what career you choose. the opportunities you take. You can dress, act, talk any way you want without family disapproving or judging you, because they won't be around to judge you. They won't be around you to gossip. It won't affect you because you won't be there. You can choose how to worship, what to worship. Maybe you came from a very religious family and you choose to be a free spirit that worships the sun god instead of the man in the clouds with the long white beard. You can make these choices because you're free. That freedom is potential for a greater, happier, stronger sense of self. When you're subtly, overtly rejected, you may be forced to develop more independence than your siblings or your friends in your younger years or earlier on. This can also increase capacity for a stronger sense of self if you've had to defend and assert yourself for a place in your family. I can totally resonate with this vibe because I've lived it. Those who embody the black sheep, the black sheep of the family, may often have more psychological scars than others that are more accepted, family members other than you. But they may also have a greater sense of self than others in the family. I have always been treated less than in my family. And I don't know if it's because I'm the oldest, if my parents were a little younger, but you know what? My parents were a lot older than I was when I had children. Um, Maybe because I was born in the 70s and my parents are hippies and they were into drugs. And they were so free that they forgot they had kids. I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I love my parents. I forgive my parents, and I have a really good relationship with my parents. They're older now, you know, their lives have changed. They are not who they were. And I don't hold that against them. I don't hold anything against them. Nothing. Okay. Everybody comes here to earth to experience life. We fuck up. We're human. Nobody gave us an instruction manual on how to be a mom or a dad or a daughter or son or a sister or brother. We don't know. We do the best we can with what we got. It's up to you to become aware and conscious of it. So I really don't know why I was treated less than, and it hurt me when I was a kid. Maybe I was treated less than because I was the freest. I always expressed myself. I didn't hold myself back. I wasn't afraid of people when I was a kid. I never held myself back. If I wanted something, I asked for it. If I was curious about something, I asked about it. I wanted to learn and know things. And I never let anything get in my way. I was never shy. I expressed myself. I had a very strong personality. Maybe I had a strong personality because I was forced to be mature. I don't know. But that's who I was. That's what I was. I was strong. I was a strong, independent child. I've always been strong and independent. I faced struggles and made poor choices as I, grew up. But those choices, bad or good, doesn't matter, bad or good, made me a very interesting person. It made me the person I am today. I have a shit ton of stories to share with people because I'm so interesting. I stepped outside the box. I moved outside the bubble. I expanded my mind. I left home. Okay? I left the nest. I left when I was 15 years old. My father said to me one day, if you don't like my rules, get out from underneath my roof. I was 15. I was like, and I asked him too. I said, are you giving me a choice? Is that a choice? Is that what you would consider a choice? He said this to me, abso-fucking-lutely. That's a fucking choice. I said, all right then. I went to school that day, called my cousin, and never went back home. I ended up moving an hour away from home and I lived with her. I had a pins warrant out for my arrest to make me come back home. When I turned 16, the police could not force me to stay home. And I got a job. I paid my cousin rent, and then I went to move in with one of my friends. And I only moved in with her because it was closer to my job. And I paid for everything. I paid for my own food. I paid for my room and everything. I was very responsible. I felt the need to fly the nest. I did not like my dad's rules. I did not like living where I lived. I did not like the lifestyle. I did not like the way I was treated. And at 15, I was fed up and I was given a choice and I made it. I made a choice. I needed to do that. I couldn't imagine my daughter leaving at 15. She's 13 now and I look at her and I'm like, wow, I was so young when I left and I had so much responsibility. I had more responsibility than she does. And I think, wow, I am fucking strong. But this action of freeing myself gave me a greater sense of empathy and compassion for those who identify as other or less than or identify as the black sheep. Pain can create empathy, and empathy can create connection. I think that one of the great gifts of being the black sheep is the opportunity for increased empathy and compassion for so many others who society often deems them as other, you know, and not just society, friends and family. They deem you as less than, other, the black sheep. This gives us the unique opportunity to find our soul family, our soul tribe. If you come across this video, chances are you are a part of this soul family, of my soul tribe, of my soul family here. Some way, somehow, we know each other, from another time and space, another universe, another realm, another planet. I don't know, but you're part of my soul tribe. If you're still here and you're listening and this resonates with you, it's because you were meant to be here. And you're going to connect with more of your soul family because most of the people that are subscribed to my channel are a part of my soul family. And we have a tight family and we all talk to each other and we communicate. And it started off by commenting down below and getting to know them. Hi, my name is Gabbie. I'm new here. I'm from New York. Introduce yourself. So you get to come across this channel. Think of it as a blessing. You're here because you were guided to be here. When we're rejected or misunderstood by those we come from, we have the opportunity to own and use our voice and our deep sense of self-awareness to seek out those we more closely identify with and resonate with. These people become our soul family. I have friends that treat me better than my own blood. I used to think that was sad. Now I'm just grateful, honestly. I don't think it's sad anymore. I think it's a blessing because I could literally have nobody treat me like anything. But I have people that I've met that treat me better than my own blood, and that's a blessing. They care deeply. They love and cherish me in a way that my own family didn't. I have no relationship with my siblings, like none. It's sad. I mean, that is sad. But, I miss them. But I miss the fun them. I don't miss the mean them, the judgmental them, the unaccepting them. I don't miss that. And if that's what it takes to have them in my life, then I would rather just stay the way it is now. We only talk every once in a while when it comes to my dad. If something major happens, that's about it. You know, um, I have friends that I consider my brother. I have friends that I consider my sister. It's bizarre, but I'm grateful. Everything happens for a reason. And I used to feel like the victim all the time. I used to play that victim card. As my awareness expanded and my consciousness expanded, I started to understand and accept things as they are. Everything is as it should be. I am accepting of it, and I no longer dwell on it, not like I used to. I think of my soul tribe and I'm happy. I cannot make people love me or respect me or to treat me good. Um, I used to have a really rocky relationship with my parents too, not just my siblings, my parents too. I've learned to forgive them. I learned to understand why they treated me a certain way, you know, and and for every action there's a reaction, of course, right? So if they were treating me a certain way, then I reacted a certain way. But I've learned to understand why they treated me a certain way, so I stopped reacting in response to that. Because I made things worse by going against the grain and being a rebel asshole. So that really didn't help. But I didn't know that back then. I know it now. And by making this video, maybe I can help somebody else not be a rebel asshole and not make, the situation worse, make things worse. Um, when I was younger, I tainted my character and my family name, my name, because I was a rebel asshole. I started to do assholey kind of things, you know? It was like payback, revenge. I was like a bitch, like, oh, I'm going to get you back. And I'm going to do this. When in reality, I was really just hurting myself. But I didn't know that back then. I thought it was just like, I'm going to be an asshole and it's all your fault. And oh God, if I could just go back in time, you guys, really, honestly. But you know what? I stopped trying to impress and fix myself to feel accepted. I started to accept myself and not give a rat's ass what they think or what anybody thought. As long as I'm happy, that's all that matters. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Keep that in mind. Remember that. Tell yourself that. As long as I'm happy, that's all that matters. As long as I was kind and loving, that's all that matters. My actions are done in the vibration of love. And that's all that matters. I guess you have to do the psychological work, the inner work, the shadow work required for any of us who identify as the black sheep. Stop acting like the victim. If I was to give you any advice, it would be to stop acting like the victim. It is what it is. Okay? You're the black sheep. It is what it is. Embrace that shit. You're better off doing you. You're, and you know what I mean by that is do what makes you happy. Make yourself happy. Raise your vibration, not theirs. You weren't born here to make them happy. You were born to work on you. This is an individual path you're on. You weren't brought here to make them happy. You're here to work on yourself. Okay? So raise your vibration, not theirs. Wow, I just said that and I just saw these weird white lights in the peripheral vision of my left eye. That was wicked. That was cool, but wicked. It's like a portal opened or something. That was weird. Everything is energy. Everything. You raise your vibration and everything around you will change. You won't have to change. Everything around you will change. It will automatically adjust to your frequency or your vibration, and you will share the same. You'll be in a frequency, of love, or something that's higher than what you're in now. If you walk around feeling like a hopeless, helpless nobody, the universe will increase that hopeless, helpless nobody feeling, because ultimately you are telling the universe you want that. So the universe gives it to you because you're in that vibration. So the universe is like, oh yeah, okay, that person's in this vibration of being hopeless. Let's make them more hopeless because they enjoy hopeless and helpless. The universe doesn't know, good, bad, right, wrong, happy, sad. The universe, everything, it's just, it is. It is what it is. It's an energy. It gives. It gives what you ask for. You want love, you get love. But you have to be in that vibration. You want hate, you get hate. Because you're in that vibration. You keep telling yourself that you have bad luck, the universe is going to say, you have bad luck. Because you asked for it. Because you keep telling yourself that you have it. So the universe is like, bad luck. So yeah. The universe gives you whatever you ask for. Whatever vibration you're in. And then you start to feel even more shittier when you're in the vibration of feeling helpless and hopeless and all that. Because the universe gives you that energy, and then you're in that vibration deeper and feeling it heavier, and then you start to feel shittier, and you're like, fuck, my life sucks. The universe is like, your life sucks. Gives you more suck. So it's up to you to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to level up and do the work and figure it out. Okay? I might be here doing this video. It might be resonating with you. But you can't just listen to this video and be like, okay, I did the work. That's not the work. This is to inspire you to do the work. This video is to let you know you're not alone. I want to inspire you to do the work. So it's up to you to do the work and figure it out. Life is full of these complicated challenges. It's never going to get easier. It's always going to give you challenges. Even when you feel like you're doing good and you're succeeding, boom, here comes another challenge. It's all learning. This is a learning planet. Unless you come here and you faced all your karma and you're just coming back to enjoy the show, but that's rare. This is a learning planet. So you're always going to have challenges. It's up to you to figure it out. Just accept that and go with the flow instead of against the flow. It all begins with you. Cultivate self-awareness. If you're the black sheep, cultivate self-awareness. Accept your differences and get to know yourself apart from other people's expectations. This work takes time. Shadow work brings out the worst in you before you start to feel better, before you start to feel change. And this is critical work. Inner work, shadow work is critical work. Don't give up. Even when it gets hard, don't give up. Don't give up if you don't see or feel results right away. Just don't give up. Give it a chance. Your shadow will challenge you and lie to you to scare you from making changes. Changes you need to face. You need to face your fears of isolation and loneliness by moving away from your family or your friends or whoever it is that's making you feel less than. And find your soul family. Actually, your soul family will find you. Your soul family will be there when you find and connect your soul. When you connect with your soul family, your soul family will be there for you to hold the light. Don't go out looking for them. Once you make moves of change, once you start to initiate some change in your life, this is when you will start to connect with some of your soul tribe. It's like a call that goes out. You're not aware of this call, but it's a call that goes out. They'll just show up. And they can show up, if you're in your teens, they can show up as seniors. They can show up as older adults. They can show up as children. Hell, they can even show up in the form of a pet, of an animal. They're there to hold the light, to lift your spirits, raise your vibration. And you'll meet more along the way. Moving away and facing your fears will teach you many lessons. You will learn how to have close, connected, healthy relationships with people. You will learn to embrace interdependence versus independence or isolation. Your self-esteem will change. You'll learn to stand in your truth and keep yourself mentally and physically safe from those who would unconsciously or even consciously harm, berate, shame, blame, judge, or make you feel unsafe. You will learn that boundaries are important and you will implement them. Most people who call themselves the black sheep have actually distanced themselves from their families. I have. When I lived far away in another state, even though I distanced myself from my family, even though we don't have a very, great connection, we never really have, but now me and my siblings, we really don't talk. So I wouldn't even go there for the holidays because they wouldn't even invite me. But back in the days when I did move away and they invited me for the holidays, I would come home for the holidays and I would enjoy the fake comfort of love. But in a way, it was satisfying. It's like what I needed. But it was, of course, it was just short term because it was not real. It wasn't real comfort. Those fake smiles and hugs were only temporary. They may have really missed me, but it would have all faded away. They only really missed me because they didn't have a finger to point at. They didn't have anybody to point at anymore. They had to, if they were pointing at somebody, it was probably a friend or something. I don't know. It was definitely temporary. But just because you distance yourself doesn't mean you don't ever come back. Maybe you don't ever come back, but doesn't mean you can't ever come back. You're just creating space, boundaries, distance, just to get yourself together. Maybe you end up moving back one day. I moved back. I'm here in New York again. My sister is literally like 8 miles away or something like that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles away. My brother's like 19 miles away. My mother's 19 miles away. My dad is 6 miles away. But I have a relationship with my mom and dad. My siblings, they don't really talk to me. And that's okay. I still love them. Finding your soul tribe is all the therapy you will need. You will have the chance to experience exactly what you may not have experienced in your family. Things like acceptance and safety, attunement, mirroring, and the transformational experience of being in a healthy, functional relationship. But you have to put the work in. Learn how to see the bigger picture. Learn to accept and love people no matter what. Learn to accept and love them no matter what. You can love them from afar. Try to step outside of yourself and observe yourself as you engage with them or other people. This is an exercise to do with other people as well. Don't react, observe. Observe how they react. Don't absorb. This takes a lot of practice, but it's going to change you. It's going to change a lot of things about you. It will help you understand the bigger picture. It will help you see the bigger picture. It will help you notice a lot of things. Being the observer will it's going to really bring awareness to you at a level that is like, whoa. You'll start to see why they act the way they do. It's like seeing everything. It's like it feels like you're a god for a moment and you can see things are being brought up to your awareness that you wouldn't have been able to see before if you didn't step outside of yourself to become the observer. I can't even explain it. I hope I'm explaining it good enough for you to be able to try it. And when you try it, you'll have this feeling that's going to just be like, whoa, like, wow, this is amazing. And you'll start to see why they act the way they do. It's like you'll be able to see behind the curtain. And then when you see behind the curtain and you see the bigger picture, and it's like you're seeing their secrets or something. I don't know. And when you see that, and you're aware that you're able to see this now, you can send that aspect of them love. Now I have some homework for you guys, for those of you that are willing to do it. It's spiritual homework. It's going to help you. If you are the black sheep in your family, I want you to get a notebook. I want you to save this video. I want you to like this video. I want you to save this video. And I want you to rewind it back to this portion of the video with your notebook in hand. You're going to journal. I want you to document this in your journal. I want you to write these questions in your journal. This is for you and you only. You do not need to tell or share your answers with me at all, okay? I'm going to ask you a few questions, but again, this is for you and you only. When you listened to this video, what came up for you? Did you full on identify with being a black sheep? Or did only some parts of this feel true for you? In what ways did you experience being the black sheep? How did you cope with being the black sheep? What ways of being or thoughts or behaviors did you create to keep yourself safe and sane? Were they effective back then? How well are those behaviors, ways of being, coping mechanisms working out for you today? How are they now getting in your way? What do you think you need to grieve or mourn in order to process the pain of having been the black sheep? What do you need to give up or release? What do you see as some of your big healing tasks, psychological or physical, that you may need to face in order to believe and know that being the black sheep is not as bad as it sounds? What supports and resources do you need to gather around you in order to do this work? Do you need a therapist? Do you need a support group? Or do you need your soul family, or all of the above? What do you think life might be like if you could heal the pain that you've carried around from identifying as the black sheep? This is the last question. What advice or guidance would you give to someone who also feels like they are the black sheep of their family? Now, again, this is for you and you only. I want you to read your answers after you write them down. And, you know, this may shed some light for you. This might help heal you. And this is something you can reread every day and write in your journal daily or weekly or monthly, and ask yourself these questions as you go through the healing process and see if your answers have changed, see how it makes you feel, and document the process. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I offer spiritual guidance and growth as a service, and I'm currently doing it by donation. And if you're interested in that service, you can email me. My email address is down below in the not the comments area, in the description area. And if you need more assistance in this area of your life to break free from the chains of being the black sheep, I'm here for you. Okay? I embrace it, honestly. I used to get offended by being the black sheep, and it used to be like, you know, like the Debbie Downer, like, and she's the black sheep. And I used to get upset about that. I was like, I'm not the black. I used to get really pissed. I'm not the black sheep. Fuck you. You know? I embrace it now. I like to be the oddball now. I'm like, yeah, I'm the black sheep. I'm not like everybody else. You know? I'm the different one. And I like that. I don't like to be like everybody else. I like to be the different one. Truth be told, you guys, you're the chosen one. Honor that. Just like how I started this video. I'm trying to think of the movie I heard that from. But you're the chosen one. And I want you to remember that. The gods chose you. They chose you to be the black sheep, the oddball. And I'm going to read it again. When the gods choose, they choose the lost. They choose the desperate, the forsaken, the forgotten, the nameless. It's only those who know the true path, the path to the beyond. Only they will be able to see the real future, the real horizon. I don't know, that just, like, I feel it in my solar plexus. That speaks, like, I don't know, that speaks to my soul, you guys. It means something to me. You are the fucking chosen one. If you're the black sheep, embrace that shit. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.